It's Tuesday, the 30th of March 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, the business news you need in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. In today's headlines, the banking regulator warns that changes to superannuation rules could boost the already hot housing market. Plus, Prime Minister Scott Morrison announces a major reshuffle of his front bench. States start closing their borders to Brisbane after another 4 new community cases of COVID-19. And Tabcorp's board puts the whole business under review. Our lead story today, the chair of the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, Wayne Byers, has warned that allowing superannuation members to withdraw their retirement funds to buy a home would push up already rising house prices. Appearing before a parliamentary committee yesterday, Mr Byers said he was naturally wary of programs that boosted housing demand but not supply. All else being equal, the program, being pushed by some Liberal politicians, would push up prices. At the same time, Mr Byers said it wasn't APRA's job to solve house prices or house price affordability, and it wasn't ready to intervene in the market. The comments bring together the two big asset classes of Australian households, property and superannuation. The union movement has kicked off a campaign to prevent the federal government reversing already legislated changes to the superannuation guarantee, which is due to rise from 9.5% now to 10% on July 1 and eventually to 12% in 2025. The government is considering suspending the increase, something the industry super funds, union movement and former Prime Minister Paul Keating are dead against. While reversing the increases would hurt long-term super savings, not reversing them would hurt short-term economic growth, according to experts. In the run-up to the federal budget on the second Tuesday of May and then beyond, superannuation and property will be two big policy issues under scrutiny. There's a clear divide between the two major parties. Mr Byers' comments yesterday demonstrate that while regulators don't want to get involved in the housing market if they don't have to, there are significant economic consequences in any changes to rules. In overseas news, the vessel that's been stuck in the Suez Canal has been refloated thanks to a flotilla of tugboats and high tide. The ship, which has been stuck for almost 6 days, was tugged to the centre of the canal to undergo a safety inspection. London recorded 0 COVID-19 deaths for the first time in 6 months overnight. So far, the UK has recorded 4.3 million cases, nearly 150,000 deaths. And a joint World Health Organization China study into the origins of COVID-19 says that the most likely reason for the outbreak of the coronavirus is the transmission of the virus from bats to humans through another animal. Locally, Prime Minister Scott Morrison has outlined a new cabinet forced upon him after 2 of his most senior ministers were replaced over the crisis around the coalition's treatment of rape allegations and sex harassment claims. WA Senator Michaelia Cash will become Attorney General and Minister for Industrial Relations, replacing Christian Porter, and Peter Dutton will replace Linda Reynolds as Minister for Defence. Overall, there are 7 women in the 23-member cabinet, 5 of whom are considered senior cabinet members. And the PM has established a cabinet task force, co-chaired by himself and Minister for Women Maurice Payne, to help ensure women's interests and gender equity are considered in cabinet decisions. The borders are going up around Queensland. Western Australia, South Australia, Victoria and Tasmania all have a hard border with Brisbane after a number of new community-transmitted cases in the Sunshine State in recent days. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian warned against her citizens going to Queensland for holidays. The lockdowns are a massive blow for Queensland's tourism sector immediately before Easter. Gaming group Tabcorp said it's rejected several unsolicited approaches and proposals for its wagering and media business. It said the offers didn't adequately value the business, and the group will now undertake a strategic review to assess and evaluate all structural and ownership options, which could include the sale or demerger of parts of the business. Its share price fell almost 3% after the announcement. China has officially set the tariff on wine imports from Australia at 175.6%, effectively making it uneconomic for local producers to sell into the world's second largest consumer market. Local market leader Treasury Wine Estates, which owns Penfolds, said it will take up to 3 years to fully divert its sales from China, where it had been selling about $500 million of wine annually. Online property group REA has made a $244 million bid for broker Mortgage Choice. The bid is a 66% premium to Mortgage Choice's last close and has been recommended by the broker's board. It's an interesting play. The company that makes most of its money through home listings wants to grow its mortgage broking business. And how much is the service station worth? According to a recent auction of 9 Woolworths Caltex petrol stations in Sydney, about $6 million each. British fuel retail EG Group sold the servos and will lease them back for 15 years, according to a report in the Financial Review. Obviously, the value of a servo depends on what town it's in, where it is, all the normal property stuff, but $6 million ain't bad. That's the Fear and Greed business headlines for today. Make sure you subscribe or follow so you get it every morning. If you'd like more detail and more stories, search for our full Fear and Greed podcast. Today, it also includes an interview with Kate Morris, founder of Adore Beauty, a terrific business success story. I'm Sean Aylmer. Have a great day.